Only Amir Yass.
Hi, darlings.
Or should I say Yas Queen?
Please do.
Have I been thinking of that all day? I don't know.
I believe it.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever said that to you.
Nope, you are not the first. So when I came up with the stage name, because my real name is Yasai, so I go as Yas, and everyone's like, "That's not your given name," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is. Let's just go with that."
Listen, it kind of fits, right? What is going on? Welcome. Listen, before we get into all the stuff going on in Bravo, I mean, welcome to the podcast game. You have a new podcast, the Vault podcast with all about the tea.
Yes, honey, it's gonna be good because she has so much tea to spill, and she's always on the forefront of any pop culture stuff. And then I'm just like, that's just my hobby. That's what relaxes me is to hear all about what's going on in the world. And when I say the world, I mean Bravo pop culture. I don't mean like the world.
No, I always say to people, I'm like, I'm great at this. And like, don't ask me to talk about the world. I don't know. I'm not qualified. I'm an idiot. And my views are just like, I just am in my bubble. I just don't pay attention. It's so sad. It's really sad. I'm like a smart, dumb person.
That's how I feel. I'm not the Anderson Cooper gay. I'm more of the Andy Cohen gay. So we'll go with that. Like,
We love all about the tea, though. She has covered this podcast many times in the past 5 years. So thank you to her for that, for picking up our show. But we love her. That's a good person to team with.
she's great. So when that whole debacle, I'm sure you remember that because I think I was on the podcast when that was going on. The whole debacle with Michael B. Jordan, she was really supportive. So when that whole thing came out where I had said that I had slept with Michael B. Jordan, which is not what I said. I said we had a moment, it was a joke, and it like spread like wildfire. I was getting death threats. People were threatening to take down my social media. I was like, okay, like what did I do? So she was very supportive. She wrote a lot of like supportive articles. She really was supportive because a lot of people turned on me. I was like, I didn't out him. He's not even gay. It was a joke. So, anyways, people are a
The
lot.
amount of people in this business that are your friends are like one to maybe two. I agree. I'm like you can't like I listen when people tell me they love me, it's very lovely, but you love me because of my work. Like I'm doing this. If I were to, if there was some scandal about me tomorrow, how many of you would still love me? And I love the praise, but you can't really fall into it because, yes, most people will turn on you at a dime. They will. It's just
Well,
sick.
mhm, mhm.
So,
Unfortunately, that's what we would tell our
unfortunately.
clients. We're like, if you get an Oscar, be excited, but the day after, someone's gonna cuss you out online. Like you always have to kind of like the good stuff and the bad stuff has to kind of be measured. So
Did you ever did they ever threaten to sue you with the whole Michael B. Jordan thing? Like, was that like legal too? Or no, it was just people giving you death threats and like over you.
it was just people giving. I thought I was gonna get sued. His agent did email me and just said, Amir, tisk tisk. I mean, he knows that like it was a joke. So at least I was like, okay, but I'm always nervous. Like whenever I go to events, I'm like, oh God, what if I run into him? Because I just feel like if he was embarrassed or thought I was using his name as a jumping off point, like that sucks. But then it also, unfortunately, with this industry, it did work that way. Because then everyone wanted me on their podcast, and then I got all these opportunities. I got stand-up show. So I did benefit from it, and it sucks because that's not my intention. And I never want to out anyone, but I mean, unfortunately, that's what happens. I've gotten cease and desist when I talked about Erika Jayne or when I've talked about some other clients. But cease and desist, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, what are you gonna do?
Listen, I say shockingly, let's not jinx it, knock on wood. I have never been sued. No, I mean, I listen, I'm also a lawyer, so I don't say anything that can get me sued. So I'm not worried. Yeah, I say on this podcast all the time, if I got a cease and desist, I would either throw it in the garbage, shit on it, and send it back to you, or write fuck you on it and send it back to you. None of which I advise for the average human being, but it truly means nothing. I actually think getting a cease and desist is like the best thing because it's basically like someone telling you, I'm not going to sue you. I'm really not suing you because if they were going to sue you, they would sue you. This is like, I don't want to sue you, nor am I going to sue you, nor do I want to spend money to sue you. So I'm just going to send you this and hope that you're scared like most people would be. That's how I feel.
I wasn't scared. I did a TikTok dance, and then the publicist got more annoyed, and then there was more threats. And I was just like, listen, what I said about Erika Jayne is not rocket science. Everyone knows she's kind of a little rough to deal with, but I also still love her. I mean, she's made such progress. Like when she's on Two Teas in a Pod, like she's funny. I still watch her. It's not like I have a problem with her. It's just I just spoke my truth.
You spoke your truth. I remember because we had you on the podcast, and I would think like yeah, I don't even know if she would be upset or anyone, the publicist. I mean, it's a different publicist now anyway, but like, I don't even know if they would be upset now. Like after the whole Tom Girardi thing, like this was pre that. Like it's like I feel like Erica just every year has got to be a good year for her at this point. Like kind of like what else can happen, baby? Like I don't know if you saw she just did some interview for the return of Beverly Hills, and someone's like, "What's the difference between this Erica and the first season Erica?" And she's like, "I used to be rich." It's kind of funny. She was like, "I was rich then," and it was really funny. And she
That's good.
laughed, and they right. It's funny. She has a sense of humor, Erica.
She has a good sense of humor. I like that. I mean, that's the only way to be resilient is to laugh so you don't cry. And she cried quite a bit. And then also if you compare Erica to the rest of America, she's doing pretty good, right? So it's like who are we if we're comparing ourselves to Crystal Minkoff and Kyle Richards, yeah, she's not rich. But if you compare her to the rest of the world, she's doing pretty good. I mean, I know where she lives, that apartment, that area. It's not bad.
No,
So
and in the season premiere, which will have aired by the time everyone hears this, I mean, she's going furniture shopping with Dorit to remodel. Like, if we're really broke and we're living in it's more than one bedroom. The other bedrooms are just closets, but if we're really broke, we're not remodeling whatever small or large space we have.
absolutely. I'm loving Dorit with that 7-minute preview. I was like, oh, I kind of love her. She sounds fun.
I listen, Beverly Hills is my favorite franchise. I'm trying to be like by unbiased. And a lot of people don't like it, but like you're a huge Beverly Hills fan. I totally agree. Lean into it, Dory. Just bring it.
I love it. I'm such a foodie, so I watch these Housewives like my favorites, even though I know people don't love RHONY and it's not that good, it's boring. I watch it for the food. So I like to write where they're eating, and then I in LA too, so I'm always like, where are they eating? So then I can go, that's important to me.
I love that. I mean, I've done that. Like when I went somewhere in LA because I saw it, I think like Delilah, like someplace where it's where people go. I just was never there. It just always fell through. And I was like, I think like Sutton and Garcia, someone was there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to this right away now. So it does work that way, yeah.
It works for them.
What did you think of this past season of Orange County? Like, did you like it? Do you think everyone's coming back? How do you feel about
I mean,
Shannon?
I'm loving it. I love, first of all, when it first, before it aired, like 3 weeks before, I was at a shopping center in Corona Del Mar and I saw Shannon. So she walked right by me. She smelled good. She looked great. She was very hunched over. She looked really defeated. And I just really felt for her. And I was going to say hello just to be nice, not even like, oh, let's talk and stuff. But she looked so defeated. And I was like, that was the first crack in my armor around her, being like, no matter what she says or does, she got a DUI. I will never like, the ice is not going to melt. And then I don't know, the way that Alexis came at her with a chainsaw, it just warmed us all up to Shannon. It did exactly, if Alexis left her alone, I think we would have been annoyed with Shannon. But the way that she came at her, it made you just be like, wow, they're kicking this woman when she's down. Again, I've never gotten a DUI, but I can understand making a mistake and then having people kick you over and over again. So it actually worked kind of in the opposite way that Alexis wanted.
Do you, because you live in Orange County, like, do you run? Because I mean, I guess I shouldn't be so LA and New York, where I think it's like they're big cities and every place, but it is smaller in Orange County. Like, do you run into these people all the time?